Hello and welcome to my talk. This talk is about perception, awareness, and presentation. Perception is part of the general cognitive activity, so it's something that takes place at any time. Whereas awareness is something that only rarely takes place, but it can be trained, for example, through meditation. Presentation is a competence that is used to present information and data, and it's gaining more and more importance in data science, for example. The juxtaposition of these three words brings us closer to the idea to use meditation techniques to teach data visualization literacy. As mentioned explicitly in the title, this was a case study, and the major purpose of this talk is to present it as a return of experience, to show if it is worth to study it further by verifying the hypothesis that come with it. My talk is separated into 4 parts. First, the initial setting and its history, then a brief introduction into the matter to make you experience live and online how meditation can help us to understand visualization or the principles of visualization. And thirdly, we step a little deeper into the course before then at the end I will come to my conclusions. To illustrate the combination of meditation and visualization, I invite you to have a look at the right side of the slide, which shows the cover page of a book that is about data visualization. Its title is Signal. And if you have a look at the subtitle, it says, Understanding What Matters in a World of Noise, which could also be the title of a course on meditation. Meditation is a lot about discernment, about differentiation from a meta perspective, by learning to distinguish which is good or bad, right, wrong, helpful, to dismiss, and so forth. In the ideal case, in meditation, you reach an inner state of silence, a state of inner silence, of liberation, and special connectivity to the world by simply contemplating it the way it is. Something that is illustrated with the picture on the left hand of this slide, on the left side. After this short overview of the main components and the structure of this talk, let us begin right from the start. What happened that made all this happen? Something like 1.5 years ago, I knew that I had to give a class in German that would only be taught once for very specific reasons, mainly because our bilingual studies came to an end. I was free to choose one of the existing classes in French, but had the freedom to create a course on my own. For reasons of personal interest, I chose data visualization, a course taught during the 3rd semester of our program in information science. The second thing that I decided was to teach it under the form of workshops, with each workshop having a duration of 4 hours. That means 1 full morning. The third thing was the decision to dedicate the first workshop to the topic of Gestalt, a German word that is very difficult to translate. Sometimes form is used or shape, but the word Gestalt has many meanings and literally is untranslatable. I focused on Gestalt because every time you listen to an expert in visualization, the first thing he will tell you is that the laws of Gestalt are essential and of great importance, but unfortunately, that he does not have the time to spend more time with it. Therefore, I decided to dedicate at least 4 hours to the topic. Then a meditation came into my mind that proves for me the strong link between Gestalt and visualization, and I thought it was worth the risk to try it. In any case, Gestalt has a lot to do with what happens in meditation. Perception of yourself, the others, the way you perceive the world, the way how you present yourself to the world, the way the others see you, and so forth. Finally, this attempt of introducing the principles of Gestalt was such a big success in class that I started to create a meditation for each workshop. To illustrate this method a little further, I invite you for the next 5 minutes or so to do one of these meditations with me in order to get a brief introduction into the matter, or might I say, into the matter of energy. Feel free to switch off your camera or to lie down. The most important thing is not to close the eyes before I tell you, and to give you some time before opening them again, just by following the instructions if you're willing to. Start by getting aware of the light in the room that surrounds you. Is it bright? Is it dark? Whatever it is, just be aware of it. And now, continue to observe the space around you by focusing on all the sounds or noises from far or close, by voice that guides you, and finally, the sound that is usually closest to you, which is the sound of your breath. And then get aware of the contact between your clothes and your outer skin, and all the sensations, soft or brittle, comfortable or annoying, that are there. Be aware of the form of your body and its shape, and the clothes that cover the body and influence its shape. We will now, if you like, focus once more on the eyes that are still open. Try to find out if there is a will of the eyes to get closed, or a preference to remain open. And after checking this, I invite you to gently close both eyes and to arrive in the world of your inner sensations. What interests us most now is once more the shape of your body. Is it still there, the same way as it was before? Or is there something that has changed or disappeared, that was replaced by something very different? vast, large, and open. Something that you could call an energetic field. Try to be aware of the absence of this shape and the presence of this large field, or anything that you perceive from inside, and remain there for some moments before we will slowly find our way back out of the meditation. But for now, remain in this state of inner observation. And now I ask you once more to focus on the eyes that are closed. By directing your attention to the outer world without opening them. And before opening the eyes, check once more the willingness to change the state of action. Do they want to remain closed? Is there a need, an urge, a will to open? And then slowly open the eyes by checking if there is one eye that opens faster than the other one. And find out that your shape has returned. Get aware of the shape of your body, touch of the clothes, the sounds and light that are surrounding you. And try to find out if there was a change that happened. Thank you very much for participating at this little meditation. As you might have noticed, the shape of your body disappears as soon as you close the eyes and immediately returns when you open them again. For me, a proof of the innate link between the visual and the Gestalt, which, in my humble opinion, led to the creation of the famous laws of Gestalt. After this short initiation into this matter, I would like to present you the basic and specific assumptions of meditation and its impact on data visualization competences. It starts with the simple repetition that data is a Latin word, being the result of a translation of Euclid's work De Domina, which means given, everything that is given. This leads us to the first basic assertion, which is the world is everything that is given. And the second assertion or theorem, that meditation is always directed towards everything that is given or perceived. So what does that mean more concretely? It means that what is given is perceived and processed cognitively by the individual. Meditation is the mindful awareness of this cognitive process. Visual perception is a primary, often dominant component of what is given and perceived. It is an integral part of the continuous stream of consciousness. And mindfulness awareness of this process can enhance the production of visualizations for others, can improve them. The process of producing data visualizations, on the other hand, can itself be turned into a meditative process. And all these assumptions were tested in this one course that had the following structure. As I told you, there were 7 workshops of 4 hours length, dedicated to 6 topics, and ending with a final representation or synthesis of the work done before. The topics were Gestalt, data, poster design, observe, collect, draw, tools, and data stories. And every workshop contained at least 1 meditation, or towards the end, 1 yoga practice, a theoretical as well as a practical part, being the beginning of the homework to be done. For the sake of illustration, let me give you some more details about 2 of these workshops, namely observe, collect, draw, and data stories. The workshop dedicated to observe, collect, draw started with the meditation of the breath, in which the breath was counted thrice for the duration of 1 minute. Finally, the students were invited to create an inner image of these counts and put them on a postcard. After that, we presented the book Dear Data, written by Lupi and Posavec, and explained the method behind, which is illustrated with many practical exercises in the book entitled Observe, Collect, Draw. As a consequence, the students were asked to do the same and write postcards to each other after having applied this method to 1 field of interest. A very nice example is given in this slide, where the student Eloise Morisot, which gave me her permit to publish this postcard, observed her Facebook posts and the reactions given. The second example that I would like to present concerns the last but 1 workshop dedicated to the very interesting field of data stories, a concept that will gain more and more importance and that led to the last exercise and homework. That means the creation of a data story by bringing together all data gathered so far. As you can see, the meditation here was replaced by yoga sequences. Firstly, it was shown that every yoga posture has numerous visual aspects and a lot to do with the way you present yourself to the world, which links us again to the aspects of Gestalt. In the end, it was also shown that every yoga posture counts a story, illustrated by the aspects of the sun salutation, which astonishingly shows many parallels to the famous hero's journey, a term coined by James Joyce and investigated in literature by Joseph Campbell. The following picture illustrates quite well this journey of the hero, where he returns after introverted and extroverted postures to the starting point, with the world around having changed, because the hero, in our case, the practitioner, changed. The following slide gives another example of a work done by 2 students, Mira Busansky and Yuri An, which was about the masks worn in Geneva's metro stations, a story entitled Le Crime du Geneva Express, the crime of the Geneva Express. I do now come to the end of my talk, which consists of some conclusions and further hypotheses. After having made the experience of this course, we consider meditation to be a third way for teaching data literacy. Meditari being in Latin a verb with medium as genus verbi, that means being neither active nor passive, but right between them. In one review of my paper, a critique said that this work has nothing to do with literacy. Well, after thinking about this, I think the answer is twofold. On the one hand, with mindfulness and awareness being underlying competences to any other competences that can be trained through meditation. This would be something like meditation in education. On the other hand, As shown in this talk, there are specific components needed in data literacy, such as perception, gathering, discernment, arrangement, and presentation that can be taught through meditation. This is meditation as education. And now I came to the end of my talk. I thank you very much for your attention, your mindfulness, and awareness. And after finishing the recording, I am waiting for your questions. Thank you very much.